Greetings everyone. Welcome to Asia L Artisan Body Care. I hope you are having a fantastic summer. In this video I'm going to be making and cutting a wonderful tangerine soap, and I'm also going to show you a really easy and fun DIY. Without any further delay, let's get into what you came here for. For the DIY portion of this video, I began by placing some parchment paper onto a baking sheet because I decided I wanted to make my own orange peel powder. And I used some fresh organic oranges just from the local grocery store. And I began by cutting the orange into manageable pieces and then separating the pulp from the orange peels. Next, I tore the orange peels into more manageable pieces and I baked it in an oven for 125 degrees, and I left it in there for, I want to say, no less than 8 hours. It's a slow process, but you do it this way because you're dehydrating the peels. You don't want it to burn or scorch. You just want to remove all of the moisture. Here are the orange peels fresh from the oven. Prior to putting it in the dry container for my Vitamix, I did let it cool a little bit, and I also broke them up into a bit of smaller pieces and ground it into as fine of a powder as I could get it. But just to make sure it was a really fine powder, I did also sift it before using it. Once I separated all of the larger bits from the orange peel powder, I placed it in a nice handy dandy mason jar and stored it for later use. Now that I've completed this super easy DIY slash 8-hour DIY, I'm ready to move on to make some soap. So as always, I start out with gently mixing the hard and soft oils together in the bowl. I follow that up with slowly pouring in my lye water solution, and then I mix it with the stick blender just until it is emulsified. I like to reserve most of my blending for the additives. So as you know, if you've ever watched any one of my videos, you know next will be my plant milks and additives that will go in, and then I will stick blend that until I'm happy with the consistency and the emulsification of my batter, and then I will slowly add in the fragrance oil. This particular soap, it does not have any additional color. It's just a really simple, beautiful tangerine soap. If you follow me on Instagram, and I hope you do, you already know that I've been making a few soaps that will be exclusive to the Melrose Trading Post, which is a wonderful outdoor market here in Los Angeles. So this is one of the soaps that will only be available at the Melrose Trading Post, so you won't be able to get it on the website. However, there are lots of other amazing soaps and other artisanal products on my website that you can purchase. But if you happen to already be in Los Angeles or planning on visiting, starting August 19th, I will be at the Melrose Trading Post. So now we come to the part where I'm adding the fragrance blend, and I just figured I would just incorporate it into the soap batter just very gently like I always do, and then move on to the next step of making this soap. However, I was not prepared for how quickly this fragrance would accelerate the batter. I have not had a soap accelerate this quickly since I first started learning how to make cold process soap, which is probably almost 6 years ago now. And so one of the things you become really good at as a soap maker is feeling the consistency of your batter with your stick blender. And so as I was blending it, I felt that the batter was getting thick rather quickly. And so I transitioned to mixing it in with my spatula because I thought, well, I'll just slowly incorporate the fragrance with my spatula. And then depending on the consistency that I get after that, I can transition back to using the stick blender. As you can see, the final consistency of the soap after I blended everything really well, it looks great if these were mashed potatoes, but this is a tangerine soap, and so it's thicker than I really wanted it to be. I did not add the orange peel powder to the batter, pardon me, but because I made a decent amount of the orange peel powder, I will use it the next time I make the tangerine soap, and it'll be one of the ingredients that I add before the fragrance goes into the batter. So there was a lot of just like putting the batter into the mold and then a lot of tapping because I was trying to ensure that there weren't any air bubbles. But as you see, it just kept getting thicker and thicker. And I just kept thinking, well, at the very least, I'm going to have a really interesting sort of like rustic looking soap. But I just wanted to make sure it was completely in the mold. You can see like when I tried to use the skewer, it just made a trace. It looks like a road or something, but that's just how thick the soap was. And I just did the absolute best I could, and so we'll see how that turns out. So I did try to, pretty up the top of the soap as much as I could. It's not what I had in mind, but it's better than I thought it was going to turn out considering how the batter accelerated. And some of the orange peel powder, I just put a little bit of that on the top as a decorative element. But I'm going to say there's going to be a second coming of this tangerine soap. I won't be defeated. Because this soap set up so quickly, I was able to make it in the morning and then cut it the same evening. Look how wonderfully smooth the cutter goes through the soap. You would never think it gave me as much trouble as it did. Also, I was concerned about air pockets. I just figured I'd have them because I had to quickly pack the soap into the mold, but I don't see an awful lot of the air pockets, so that was a good thing also. And the soap looks a little bit more rustic than I'm used to making, but I think it turned out amazing. And I believe my customers at the market will really enjoy this soap. Thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day, evening, or morning to experience this with me. I do appreciate it very much. Thank you also to my subscribers. Welcome, all of you new subscribers. Thank you also for all of the questions and comments that you post. It is greatly appreciated. And also to my fellow soapy brothers and sisters, if you have an experience that you'd like to share with regard to your soap accelerating because of a specific fragrance oil or essential oil, please feel free to share that in the comments. I would love to know how you maneuvered through what could have possibly been a disastrous batch of soap. Thank you all so much, and stay tuned for some pictures of the final cut of this Tangerine soap. Have a fantastic day, everyone. See you soon.